Hello, everybody. Today we're going to look at my recent project where I rewrote the code for blockchain, which somebody took objection to. Blockchain, bye, have a good day. I responded, know thy enemy. And if you're familiar with Sun Tzu, The Art of War, know thy enemy and know thyself, and you'll win 100 battles. I'm not going to get too upset about it, but all I want to do really is just explain what I've learned and what I've brushed up on. So the code had obviously main, and then there was block and blockchain.rs, and inside of those there were structs, and there was like a builder. Then we had the mine function, and then the generate block hash. So by doing this, I learned quite a lot about hashing, about JSON. I think if you saw my previous video, I learned also about the function repeat, which is used to search out what type of difficulty is being used, how many leading zeros we have for the difficulty. So just we'll look at the code in a second, but I just wanted to just mention, if you're not aware of blockchain, Bitcoin, crypto, whatever, however you want to call it, it's probably not a bad thing just to actually learn a bit about it and where it's being used and where it's being planned. And again, if you don't like it, it's still better to know about it. So yeah, if you go to cbdctracker.org, you'll see all over the world countries are developing it, research, proof of concept, pilot, launched, cancelled. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of like respond to that comment to say even if you don't like something, it still is not a well, I don't think it's a good reason to ignore it or be ignorant about it or avoid it. Maybe he knows everything about it and that's fine. So yeah, anyway, I'm not going to let that spoil our day. Um, I've typed all this code out mostly verbatim, but I've typed it rather than copied and pasted it. And as I've typed each function, I've tried to establish what each function is actually doing from scratch. And yeah, we've got the comments, but I've also tried to run the code as I go along. And then typically there's an error, so you have to go fix it. So even though you're typing it in from somebody else's code, you've only got to miss a bracket or a semicolon and it doesn't work. So yeah, there's still been a smaller element of troubleshooting, even though I've typed it in mainly from someone else's code. So let's demonstrate it. So I'm actually 2 levels down at the moment, so not that it matters. If I just do Control B, it'll run, and there we go. So the blockchain project, it's made me 3 new blocks. So the first block was called the Genesis block. Then block 1, sorry, the Genesis block was block 1, then block 2, block 3. And even if you learn nothing else, at least you can learn how to print. So the same value you can print binary, octal, hexadecimal. So even something like that, you see here, see the X there, printing is hexadecimal. So if you're really early on in your Rust career, you're just starting, then B for binary, O for octal, X for hexadecimal. The other thing that actually prompted me to do some more learning was the SHA-256, the SHA-256 new. So there's different libraries that you can use. There was one called Ring, but I stuck with this one as used in the author's original code. Yeah, so and then serialized. This project was also good practice, a good refresher with JSON serialize, deserialize. I did use it a while back when I was writing stuff in Axum, but obviously I've got a bit rusty because I've got sidetracked recently. But yeah, this has been a really good project for just refreshing on JSON, cryptography, yeah, using modules. Let me just show you the main as well. So if we go back up, yeah, main. So in the original code, it was just the difficulty followed by create the blockchain. So if you ran it and you were really new to it, you wouldn't actually know that anything had happened. So that's where you actually have to run the add block. So each time you add a block, if you know about Bitcoin, then add block would pretty much be every 10 minutes. TikTok next block. So I'm not here to argue with anybody or try and persuade anybody that Bitcoin's better than everything else. I'll leave that for another day. But yeah, I just wanted to just kind of just say what I've learned from doing this project. Even though I've typed most of the code in from somebody else's code, I've still had to troubleshoot where I've made errors. I've learned about cryptography using the SHA-2, the SHA-256. Um, yeah, I learned repeat. I've just got a refresher on doing the serialize, deserialize of the JSON. So you've got serde and you've got serde JSON. And one other thing was I also had a bit of a refresher, or I had to just kind of remind myself about adding the features. So when you do if you're not editing the cargo file directly and you're doing it this way, where you do cargo add and then you would do serde, then you could just do dash dash features and then it's derive. Sorry, typo there. Excuse me. You see, it's added the serde derive. So rather than actually having to go in and edit the TOML file kind of manually, you can just add features when you do the cargo add. So yeah, probably apologies if many of you already know this. I know I'm kind of changing levels a bit. I mean, my Exum videos were probably sort of intermediate level, and that was me at my peak. But I've just gone back and I've just done a refresher on the blockchain, and I just wanted to just run through what I've done here. If anybody's got any requests or suggestions, then feel free to add them. And I want this to be kind of more, not just purely tutorial in 4 minutes and then gone. It's always nice to know a bit of the kind of the background and hear people talking about what they've learned, what problems they had, and so on. So if you like this style of video, or if you'd rather have just a 3 minutes really fast video with no talking, let me know. Either way, it's no problem. So yeah, catch you soon.